Hustle over everything. Sasha, take one.
You've grown a YouTube channel up to 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Walk us through the lessons you learned when it came to that.
So YouTube.
Tell me about the change you've had within yourself becoming married.
Wow.
Did you watch Forever by chance?
I did.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Let's talk about it. Halfway through the second year, I was like, what are you doing? You are too artsy-fartsy. You love to create. You love clothes. You love all types of things. So I dropped out. That was hard. Because my mom was, again, like, here we are in that situation where it's like, I worked and I did all of this for you to drop out of university. But I also was betting on myself. And so I was like, I know that right now it looks like I'm going to amount to nothing. But I promise you, once I get my footing, I'm going to make some shit pop. And I did.
Moving on from Ghana, what's new with you? What are you working on?
What's new with me? So I'm actually working on...
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Hustle. I'm the owner of the show, Alex, and I'm so excited to talk to you about YouTube, influence and content creation with none other than Sasha.
It's me.
AKA Flowers of Couture.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So firstly, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you.
We were just talking about YouTube before, right? Because you've grown a YouTube channel up to 500,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
Walk us through the lessons you learned when it came to that.
So YouTube, it's a beast.
Yes.
And it's my favorite platform. I love it so much, only because organic, genuine content is rewarded there. Mm-hmm. And I experienced it because, I started a channel with my dad, the cooking channel. A lot of people may or may not know Deddys Kitchen. And I watched it completely just blow up. And I think the consistency, I know everyone's like, oh my God, consistency. It's literally everything when it comes to YouTube. And I think a lot of people think that because they're making something super amazing, that it's just going to like win in that platform. But the reality is that without the consistency, you just will never make it on YouTube. Never.
How consistent were you? Like, how often were you guys posting videos?
And so I love this question because a lot of people are like, okay, so like 5 times a week, 2 times a week, 3 times a week. Now, there are people who argue that you should be posting at least 3 times a week, which I can't wait to get to that point. But the reality is I was not posting 3 times a week for Deddys Kitchen. I was posting religiously once a week. Every Sunday, they had a new episode of us in the kitchen cooking a meal with our family. They were just invited in. That's it, right? And I just never let go of that 1 week mark. Never, ever. Now, I agree that had I posted maybe 2 to 3 times a week, who knows what the channel would be at right now. But what's wonderful about YouTube is that you could do that. You could start doing that. You could decide today that, you know what, going forward, we're 2 a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. So I would say that you need to post at least once a week. You can't do the like, every couple weeks, like type situation. You have to be on that platform, feeding the algorithm, speaking to your audience. Because then that's another thing is like the never speaking back to your audience type thing. That doesn't help at all. So yeah, I feel like that's just the tip of it. There's so much more.
For sure. But what's interesting about your situation is that you're working with your father.
Yeah, my dad.
What's it like building something within a Jamaican family?
It is interesting, but rewarding, extremely rewarding. Like, it's not easy, of course. Like, my dad was in his 60s when he started the channel. He was I think he was like 64 when he started the channel. And my dad didn't even have a cell phone until like 10 years before that. Until this day, my dad, he's not texting you. He's not texting anybody because that's not his thing. It's not his world. He just was never into technology, old school kind of guy, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think he's awesome the way that he is. So when I came with this YouTube idea, this social media, online, people are watching you. At first he couldn't wrap his mind around it. He was like, well, what are you talking about? I remember like sharing something on my story and I was like, Daddy, like 15K people watch this, like 15,000 people watch this, and hundreds of people are saying they want to see you more. And he's like, huh? Like, I don't get it. Like, and he's coming. I'm coming from take me off of Facebook type. Everything is Facebook.
Everything is Facebook for them.
I'd be like, I'd put the camera in his face. He's like, take me off of Facebook. I'm like, Daddy, it's not Facebook. Like, nobody is on Facebook right now. But that's a lie too. That's a lie too.
Oh, listen, all of my parents are on Facebook.
People are on Facebook. Okay, so don't fall into that trap. But yeah, like it was tricky and different from my family. But we've been having so much fun with it, and seeing my parents literally transform. I can't even explain to you how rewarding. I think it's probably one of the best things that I've ever done in my life and that I'll ever do. Was starting that channel for my father and eventually my family, because they have found meaning in creating together and cooking together. But then we've always been that family. People would always come over and whatnot. But now it's like, instead of it being 20 people at the house, it's 500,000.
Most definitely. So how is monetization on YouTube?
Monetization. So you get paid through AdSense. So basically they are putting ads on your videos, and depending on how many people are watching your videos really determines how much you're making. I think it's great, especially if you have the views and you have the numbers. I mean, I know people who have way higher views than we do. And I've seen the numbers they're bringing in. But I also feel like, you know, for YouTube, for my family, it's more than my parents ever made.
Wow.
Like on a monthly basis, right?
Wow.
So they are definitely more cushioned. Definitely, you know, I grew up in a house that had financial issues. Point blank period. That's just the, you know, 2-parent home. My parents were working and working hard, but they still could not make ends meet. They have 4 kids, you know, they live in Canada. So it's not the easiest thing to, you know, live the life of your dreams. So now to have a YouTube channel that makes more than both of what they were bringing in together, like it's a totally different ballgame.
1000%.
Yeah.
Honestly, digging into the YouTube world, what I love about it is not just that you get paid well off it, but it's month over month. So a video from 2 years ago can get discovered, and next thing you know, you're like, oh, this is more monetizations coming off of that video.
Literally, it's a digital asset.
For sure.
And a lot of people don't realize that because they think that, oh, once you put the video up, what you made this month is what you would make for that video. And it's like, that's not how it works. That video is there. And it's going to be making money for you 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
You know what's different, though, is that with food, it's evergreen content. You know what I'm saying? Whereas right now, we're so, especially in Black culture.
Oh, baby.
There's so much focus on pop culture,
right?
The Diddy trial,
right?
What's happening at the moment,
right? I'm even a part of the problem. Like, I feel like sometimes when I'm doing other content, I get stuck in that. I get stuck in like, okay, well, I did this for Daddy's Kitchen, but let's now talk about, I don't know, pop culture, and it's like, there's so much more. There's so much more, and we definitely do get pigeonholed into that. Yeah. We need to free ourselves.
And with creating an asset of that, like, you get discovered based on the search terms, right? And not based off of the pop culture terms. So that thing might spike for a quick second, but then after, once it's gone. Right. You know, because your dad just got discovered by Kai Cenat. Based off of that.
I was like, what the heck is going on? I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, imagine. You see, and this is what I mean. And this is why I just like, I'm really passionate about people truly opening their mind when it comes to YouTube and what they can offer and who they can do it with, right? A lot of us, everybody wants to be like the face of everything and like to be like really, you know, that person. And it's like, you are stopping your bag. Like you're stopping your bag because you are surrounded by people, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles who have so much to give and just need your support. And really you could change the trajectory of your life and your family's life if you are okay with being on the back end and putting the real talent up at front, you know? So that's how I feel about that.
That's interesting, you know, because a lot of our parents, they came here and their goal was to become experts in one thing that they can continue to make money off, have a career. And what I'm finding on YouTube now is a resurgence of experts. People want to cut through the noise and find someone who actually knows what they're talking
Knows exactly
about,
what they're talking
who's
about,
had 10, 15, 20 years in the game, I can speak to it at length. You know, so a lot of our parents, they have that expertise, but they don't know what to do with it.
Right,
They're like,
exactly. And that's where we come in. What are we here for? I feel like our parents, they did something that we couldn't do. Right? Many of our parents are immigrants. Many of, not all of, you know, well, all of us are. But I mean, like some, for example, I'm first generation Canadian. Are you as well?
Yeah, I'm first generation
Okay,
Canadian.
so I know some people who are like second gen, right? So their parents are Canadian, but their grandparents are Jamaican. No, our parents are Jamaican. Like, well, even if you're second gen, your parents are Jamaican. But our parents came here
Yes.
and they were like, we're going to get in where we fit in and we're going to make some money and we're going to make sure that we take care of our kids, our family, etc. That was their motive. Now we're here and we have the blessing of being able to sit in a beautiful room like this, okay, and say that, you know, we're living out our dreams and doing whatever it may be. And then a lot of the time we just move forward and we don't think about the sacrifice that they made, that we could never, like we're not even built. I don't even feel like we're built like that, you know? And I feel like they don't get enough credit, especially Jamaican, especially Caribbean elders. There's a lot of like, oh, they did this wrong, they did this wrong, they did this. They're living their first time too. And they came all the way over here. They didn't know the racism that they were going to face. They didn't know the medical racism that they were going to face. They didn't know any of the troubles, the trials, the tribulations. All they knew is that they were trying to give themselves a chance and their kids a chance. And now here we are and we're like, I don't know. I'm not inspired. I'm not like, and it's like, take the baton. How are we going to push this forward? Because they made a sacrifice that, like, we don't even know the beginning of.
Facts. Did you watch Forever by chance?
I did.
Okay, let's talk about this. So
let's talk about it.
Right into this.
Let's talk about
So
it.
do you think, what's the guy's name in Forever?
Lord, I forget already.
But you know the main actor's name.
Yes.
Was it Chris? I gotta look it up.
Yeah, no, we gotta look it up. Yeah, I don't be remembering
Forever
people's
cast.
names.
Oh my gosh. I remember the girl's name was...
What was the girl's name again?
Oh, we were bad, eh?
I'm really...
all bad
this
with
is the
names.
most Jamaican thing about... Where our name again?
Forever Netflix cast. Oh my gosh. So the waterfront. Okay, so Justin was his name. And Keisha.
Justin and Keisha.
There we go.
Keisha. Okay.
Justin and Keisha. Yeah. So do you feel like Justin was moving entitled with his decisions?
Okay. So a little bit. I mean, a little bit. I thought Justin was a great kid, but I think he was a little entitled. But I think that maybe because he had these like well-to-do parents, you know, he had this life that many other Black youth don't necessarily experience.
Yes.
Which is why I loved this show so much, because I was like, finally.
Refreshing.
So refreshing. I was like, finally, we get to see a Black family that is doing well, because this is the reality for many Black families, but they don't get that. They don't have that coverage, or people don't really want to write their story. The struggle story is the more lucrative one, right? So I loved that, you know, we got to see this, but I feel like maybe it's a tad of his privilege that caused him to, you know, kind of be a little bit selfish in the way that he was moving, but I felt like he was such a great kid. So I'm torn between the two.
It's almost like we work to give them that selfishness.
Yes. Yes.
You know?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
He deserved to go through all of those phases and have those desires and whatever, you know, but I also understand his mom so much. I understand his dad too.
Yeah.
Like,
so let's give the audience some context.
Yeah.
So in Forever, there's a well-to-do family. I think the mom was in finance and the dad was a chef.
Yes.
And the son was in that high school to college phase.
Yeah.
And was trying to make a decision of where I want to go in life.
Right.
And he had basketball as an angle, and he was decent. You know, he had a great shot, but in terms of everything else, he was mid. And he
Mid
was
at best.
mid at best, you know. So he was trying to find where he could fit in.
Yeah.
And his mom had created a lane for him to get into a school. I think it was called Northwestern.
Yes, Northwestern.
And he then was like, even though there's this lane for me to go in that's pretty straightforward, I don't want to go into another PWI because the high school he went to, which is a well-to-do high school, was a PWI. And he wanted to switch things completely.
But for those who don't know what a PWI is.
Predominantly white institute.
Okay.
Yes. And he also wanted to go into music. So not even just go to another school.
He wanted to go into what all the other black boys want to get into.
Exactly.
Music. Or basketball.
Exactly. And I think it's tough. Honestly, I've been there. You know, in 2013, I discovered blogging. And I didn't even realize it at the time, but I was way ahead of the game.
Oh, yeah.
2013?
Yeah, 2013. Oh, I know those. I know that time, that era. Yeah.
That was back when Instagram was the camera, you know,
Funny.
and the camera with the stripes. Pardon me, because it's still a camera now.
I feel like I remember when Instagram literally started.
Yes.
Like I remember all of that. Yeah.
And I was at Humber doing fashion arts, and I realized that I was starting to get traction doing blogging. I was doing like an art blog at the time, and I had started closing some good interviews. I closed Vintage Frames, which is a celebrity.
It's amazing.
You know? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting some traction. But I realized I was starting to get divided between school and the blog, you know? And I chose to do school to lock in.
You're a good son. Yeah, I'm so weak. I'm joking. The Jamaican jumped out. I'm speaking on behalf of your parents.
Yeah, exactly. Because mind you, like, blogging, it could have worked out, but it could not have.
Right.
You know? And looking at my writing now, I'm like, oh, my writing's all right. But it wasn't, it's not all the way there. But look how it turned out now.
Right.
I'm creating now. And I have a degree under my belt. Whereas he is not going to have a degree under his belt or anything like that. So he can't really have anything to fall back on. So looking at it from my perspective, I was like, nah, you're kind of selfish, bro. Because his mom put so much effort into getting him somewhere. And his dad too.
Yeah, it is. And I was torn too because I was torn, oh my gosh, as an artsy fartsy kid, I was like, go after your dreams, go do what you have to do. But then initially I was like, sir, you could do that on the side. You could do that on the weekend.
Facts.
Okay. Your parents did not go through everything that they went through. And I'm sure she had to build serious community in order to be able to rub shoulders with people and do what you have to do in order to, so that when the time comes, even if your son is mid at best, you could get in. And they do all of this work. And they're like, okay, I'm getting old now. And you're going to take it. You're going to take the baton or you're going to take the torch and then see them with the torch. Just like.
Yeah.
For real?
And the thing is too, is that he's now going to miss. So, and I'm not you got to graduate, got to go to school person. But I think there needs to be a college phase. You might not be in college itself, but you maybe need to go work under your pops, for example. Maybe you need to go work in a thing relative towards you. Because check this out. When I went to college and university, working with other races, working with people who don't give a about you, you know what I'm saying? I don't know why I didn't cuss. People who don't give a fuck about you, you know?
Right.
It changes the way you operate.
Yeah.
And you need to learn how to operate within that.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to be an uphill battle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I agree.
But at the same time, you want to be able to go for what rewards your heart.
Right. Because you don't want, like for Justin, it was Justin, right?
Justin, yep.
You know, you don't want him to turn back and resent
Yes.
his parents for that. And that's what happens a lot.
Yes.
But I think with maturity, as you get older, even though there's a lot of people who I feel like we're the same age and they still don't have, it hasn't clicked. They're still blaming, right? Like, eventually he would realize, oh no, my parents pushed me in the right direction. I truly feel that. But at the same time, it's like when you do have a child that is extremely talented in something, investing in it is important too. So it's like, if he was great at music, it's like, it's also good that he's doing it. But I know, I can only imagine as a parent, I don't have any kids yet, so I don't know what this is like, but I can only imagine how hard that is, because it's like you just want to set them up to win, and they're just like,
exactly.
I actually kind of feel like this.
You know, I'm just gonna switch majors. Like, I don't know.
Like money is involved. All these things are involved. So,
what was your time of your life like during that high school to college or whatever you were doing during that time like for you?
So when I graduated high school, so I went to school, I was in an art school, theater arts. So I was an actor. I still am an actor, actually. But I went to school for theater, dramatic arts. And then I was like, I want to get into criminology and criminal justice. Random. I was watching so much CSI, and I convinced myself that that's what I wanted to do. So I went to university the first year, and I was, you know, doing all the criminology and criminal justice studies and all that good stuff. And halfway through the second year, I was like, what are you doing? You are too artsy-fartsy. You love to create, you love clothes, you love all types of things. So I dropped out. That was hard. Because my mom was, again, like, here we are in that situation where it's like, I worked and I did all of this for you to drop out of university. But I also was betting on myself. I've always been a very, very confident person in myself. And so I was like, I know that right now it looks like I'm going to amount to nothing. But I promise you, once I get my footing, I'm going to make some shit pop. And I did. Many times, over and over again. But I also feel like my parents are only now just like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll watch this after and they'll be like, no, we've been proud of you for so many years. Lie. I feel like at a certain point in time, when they realize that, oh, like she's actually, you know, being recognized for this and that. And that's the thing. You know what? My mom would appreciate the recognition, but she's like, recognition without money, it not make no sense.
Facts.
And she's right. Like, at the end of the day, it might be nice that people are like, oh yeah, pat on the back, you're doing such a great job. But if you can't pay your bills, what are we doing here? You know? So yeah, that was my high school to college, university play. Like, I don't know. I feel like you kind of have to do what you truly want to do because you'll stick it through.
Nice. You're better than me, yo. Shout out to you.
But you know what? Everybody's different.
Everyone has their path.
Yeah, everyone has their path. So, you know, we'll all get there eventually. But I respect the people who stuck it through and went and walked across the stage and got their degrees. And I really respect that. Like, sometimes I think about it now. I don't think I'd go back to school. I didn't like school. I never really liked school. I liked the fun things, but I never really liked school that much. So I'm not that kind of person.
Yeah.
Maybe I will. Who knows? But I do respect the people who have their degrees, and like that's tea.
You know, it's I'm on both sides Because, like I said, 2013, if I had started and kept that going,
Well, you don't want to do that to yourself. Sorry,
yeah.
guys. When I get really excited, my eyes over, like, it's a
I
girl
feel
thing.
you. I feel you. But now let's get into you though.
Yeah.
Because you had an interesting year. I see this rock on your ring. Tell me about the change you've had within yourself becoming married.
Wow. A lot has changed. Oh my gosh. A lot has changed. I feel like a completely evolved human being. And I know some people will be like, oh my God, because you got married, you're evolved. Yeah. I'll stand 10 toes down on that, because having a healthy marriage means that you do have to grow, and you do have to be okay with realizing that you're not right about everything, and you have to be considerate of another person. And there's just so much to it. There's like, I'm actually amazed every day that women are like running after it. Like, oh, I want to be married so badly, because I'm like, half of you are not ready at all to do it. And even me, like, when I actually realize, like, because we really get into the whole, the ring and the dress and the posting on social media. It's not that. It's a life with somebody, all of that stuff is one day for a few hours. It's beautiful and it means something, of course. Like, I feel like I had the most beautiful wedding, but it's the day after. It's when everybody goes home and you're looking back at this person and you're just like, oh, like, I'm spending the rest of my life with you. You have to really like that person, and you have to love them enough to evolve and to put yourself aside sometimes. And I think a lot of people are like in it for the wrong reasons. But for me personally, I feel like that's how I've grown too, is to see the beauty in saying, not me right now, you. Not you right now, us. A lot of people don't want to do that. People are thinking, oh, my husband bought me a bag. My husband bought me this. Oh, my husband, if your husband doesn't do this, then, and if your husband, and it's like, that's not what any of it's about. That's not what any of it's about. This is the person you're doing life with. And I feel like you have to really evolve as a person. That's why I think when men truly desire to be married and like make that step, it's so, it's honorable. I think it is. And I think it's because I now live in a place where men are measured by that honor. Over here, it's like, it's not really, I don't think it's like the highest desire of men to be married. Whereas in Africa and in Ghana, it's like people measure you by, your family. Have you chosen a wife? Like, do you have a responsibility outside of like what you're doing tonight with the boys? People respect you like in a different way. And I've noticed that, I've observed that, but also that's been confirmed through the conversations I've had with women, wives, men out there. It's just a completely different world. And I feel like I'm growing into it. I'm not all the way there, but I'm growing into it.
Is that the main difference you see between Ghana, being in Accra, and having a Jamaican background?
Sorry, the question was again?
Is that the main difference you see between Accra culture and Jamaican culture?
So yeah, it's like night and day. I mean, I'm a Jamaican girl, okay? I love my culture. I love, and never will I put down my people in any kind of way. But yes, it is like night and day when it comes to the whole idea of marriage, right? But again, these are things that we can't blame. We can't even blame Jamaicans for having less of a responsible married man culture. These are things that stem from slavery.
I was about to say that.
Like, so when people are like, oh, Jamaican man, my family here and family here and family here and family here. Slavery was not as far away as we have been conditioned to believe that it was. It's still playing out in our communities. There's a reason why this man is such a great man, but him have a family here and him have a family here. And not to say that African men, let me say this first. Not to say that African men ain't doing the same. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying, like, there's a culture of like,
jealous,
like,
culture.
like, or like, You don't need like how many Jamaican men do you know that they invited you to their wedding? Like jog over your life.
Yeah. I've only been to, I've gotten one. No, he's not Jamaican. He's St. Lucian.
Okay. So, and that's not to say, again, I'll say it again because I don't want people drag me now. Okay. They'll probably still drag me, but it's okay. I'm built for this. I'm not saying that, you know, we're here shitting on Jamaicans because, like I said, I love my Jamaican people. I love my Jamaican men. But there's a lot that has happened throughout slavery that you can still see in our community today. And the reason why you don't see it on maybe African soil so much is because literally those people were still there. I've had conversations sometimes, you know, with even my husband, and he'll be like, "Oh, I don't understand this," or why are you guys so fascinated with like the color of your skin, your race?" And I'm like, that is your privilege. Your privilege is that you and your lineage, like your family, has remained here. You were not taken from this land. Us, on the other hand, we were taken from one of these countries, right, on this continent, and we were brought into different places. And there's so many things that have happened over time that have caused us to be the way that we are, right? With, you know, small little detail like, you know, small but big, you know, a slave being tall and bulky. He comes off of that boat with his wife, if he's lucky to have his wife still be alive, okay, and his kids to be there. And he's being told that he needs to go and mate with this woman because she's also tall and big, and we want more that look like y'all. Mm-hmm. So now this man is leaving his wife, who he had on African soil, okay? And he's moving from house to house to house. And they're doing that with multiple men. So what do you think is going to happen over the next 100 years? There's a culture of men not staying in the same home, right? And it's our job to cut it. It's our job to be like, no, I aspire to have something else. Or you can decide for the way you want to do.
And the thing is, too, is that the people who are emigrating from Jamaica are people that are usually from country, where that is the predominant, the root is closer to that, versus people who have gravitated towards the city and have tried to do the work to come out of it. You know, like I keep talking to people who are from Jamaica, and a lot of them are from country. I'm like, whoa, wait, you're from country too? You're from country? And so then I go back and I'm realizing that a lot of the people that are in the city are actually completely different from people that are in country.
Oh, so different.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't know that Jamaicans don't smoke weed like that.
Right, but they assume everybody outside of Jamaica assumes that like Jamaicans weed. It's all branding. It's all branding. It also stems from Bob Marley. Many people know Jamaica. When they think of Jamaica, they think of Bob Marley, and Bob smoked and he has dreads. So this is what Jamaicans are like, right? But many people don't realize that there's so many Jamaicans who turn their nose up to weed smoking and are not into it.
I was shocked to find out that Jamaicans don't like dreadlocks.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a whole lot of Jamaicans who don't like locks. Comb your hair. Cut off the hair.
Exactly.
Clean up yourself.
Cut it off.
Cut it off and clean up yourself.
Facts.
But it all also stems from, okay, they're going to think of you as this, or they're going to think of you as that. You're not going to get a job. And the reality is, are they wrong?
Yeah.
Are they wrong? Not really. Right? Unless we're making our own jobs, those are the people that are hiring us. Exactly. But if I have locks and my locks are just so, and I love locks, by the way, okay? The reality is that there's a lot of people who are not going to hire you based off of that. Unfortunately, it sucks, but we know this. We can't pretend like we don't know this. Many of us, we couldn't even have our braids in when we would go into an interview. Yeah. We'd have to take out McDonald's would call us when we were a little kid, and you were like, okay, you immediately knew that you had to take your braids out. That you had to go slick your hair, put your hair in a certain way, or straighten your hair. Like, really? Like, think about it.
And there's like the Crown Act in the U.S. now, right?
I feel like I've heard what. Explain, please.
Let me look it up so I don't speak on it erroneously.
Like, it's crazy.
The Crown Act. The Crown Act is a movement and legislation aimed at prohibiting hair discrimination based on race or national origin. It specifically targets policies that unfairly limit natural hairstyles like braids, locks, and twists in workplaces and schools. So that's the Crown Act. It's trying
Yeah, well, thank God. But people still gonna do it. Like, how are you not gonna, how are they gonna catch people doing it?
That's the thing. I think that's the interesting part about where we are in society right now, where we know what the actual laws are, so we're operating within it. Like right now, this is such a micro example, but you can't say the N-word, right? So people will use the ninja emoji
Yeah.
to say
Instead.
the N-word.
Yeah.
You know, so there's little micro things that's happening to emulate saying things
saying it, but
and implying it in that's social media. But in the actual workplace, they'll find ways around that too. Or they'll say, "Oh, your sneakers are not the or your hair. Just listen to da."
Right, but it's like you don't even know what you're dealing with. Like I can interview someone right now and I hate their hair. And in the interview I'm like, "Love your hair, by the way."
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to take you.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
Love your hair.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, my daughter, she's always wanted her hair like that. How do you do it? Oh, I can't wait. So, unfortunately, you're not quite the person for the job because, you know, here with your other job, like there's no way. There's no way to get around it, unfortunately. We just have to create more jobs for ourselves.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. Now, moving on from Ghana, what's new with you? What are you working on?
What's new with me? So I'm actually working on bringing some sort of a podcast forward to grace the people. I'm not going to speak too much about it because I'm it's still in its formation space, but I'm really excited to finally bring it. There's a lot of people who may recognize the people on it, and I'm excited for our new audience. It's just a whole world that I'm ready to open up. But also, I'm working on just like expanding and getting my nose into other things outside of podcasting, outside of you know, speaking about pop culture and fashion and all the things that I've been speaking about all of these years. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to be doing those things. It just means that I'm interested in getting involved in different spaces. Because like you said earlier, you know, we kind of pigeonhole ourselves and put ourselves in like 5 categories. I low-key, like, even online, not even just the Black community, just overall in the influencer space, you know, beauty and lifestyle, lip gloss and foundation. No. Like, I'm like, what else can we get into? So I think I'm really just, you know, I'm in a learning stage right now. I'm opening books, I'm taking classes, I'm listening more. And I'm also getting back into acting. Yeah. Also getting back to it was a prayer of mine since I left, since I was done school, theater school, when I was like, you know, like 18, 19. I started Favour Couture, my business, and I always had this like back end prayer that I was like, God, in my 30s, please bring me back to the stage, because I've always known that I'm really great at it. I love it. And I just wanted a chance to give my brand, you know, a good start, and then I would get back into it. So God has answered the prayers, and I've been given a role on a show. I won't say yet, but you guys will see really soon. And I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful to be back in this space and to know that the first role back is something that is on a network, on TV. It's like, it's a dream come true. And I feel like it's also a testament that God does answer your prayers in the perfect timing, and that He's listening. He's listening to your desires, and He'll grant them to you. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
for podcasts, you know you're in the right space.
I know I'm in the right space.
100%.
I know I'm in the right space for sure.
And congratulations on becoming an actor on a network. That's proper.
Thank you so much. The role is small now, but we don't hate on humble beginnings, okay? We don't. It's small. And it's so interesting because my prayer was, God, in my 30s, please bring me back some way, somehow into acting. Start me off with a small role. I just want something small to get my feet back in there, because I almost even doubted that I would have the same abilities that I had when I was younger. I was like, what if I'm not good at it anymore? Like, what if I can't do it? And so I asked for a small role, and he literally gives me a small role.
Wow.
But I kill it, of course. And immediately the team gets back to me and is like, you're it. We don't even need to see anything more. You are her. And I was like, yes.
Amazing.
So yeah, I'm grateful. I'm very grateful.
Got you. Now, I want to put a button on something because we can't miss this part of your story. Yeah. The fact that your jacket is from Flaws of Couture.
A little bit of flaws here and there.
And you won the competition.
I did.
You want to touch on that real quick? Like, what was that time of your life like?
Wow. The competition with Shein. That was like, I still can't even believe that happened. Like, sometimes I think about that and I'm like, that is actually wild. Like, it was one of the greatest experiences that I've ever had. I'm happy that I was able to bring my team with me, my very small team with me, so that they could experience it too. And it really let me know exactly what I was trying to figure out within myself, is that I am supposed to be in these rooms. I am capable of doing great things, and anything can happen at any point in time. Like, that's probably what it taught me the most, because I wasn't even going to do that competition. Really? It was my team that was like, just do it. Why not? Why don't we just enter? Because I was just like, child, they want me to submit this, submit that, submit this. And I was like busy with other things. But I feel like there's this constant theme in my life where it's like, I will be busy with what I think I'm busy with, and an opportunity comes and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I have the capacity for that. And because the same with Deddys Kitchen, right? It came, people were like, please start this channel. I was like, I have a brand. Okay. Yeah. I also have my actual YouTube channel that I think failed. So when they were talking to me about a YouTube channel, I was like, you guys don't even know what it takes to like have a successful YouTube channel. So that's why you're just asking me to start a YouTube channel. And I kept on saying no until they were like, listen, like, we don't want these 24-hour stories. We want the actual channel. And I had to like lock in and be like, okay, the people are asking for this. Let me see. Let me put it out there. And it literally blew through the roof. So when it came to this opportunity with Shein, they were reaching out to hundreds of designers. And I was like, oh, they're having another, like, they always have something. I was like, guys, I don't know. And they're like, why don't we just do it? So I said to them, I literally said to my assistant at the time, who is now my COO, Michael, you met Michael.
Yeah, Michael's awesome. Shout out to Michael.
Yeah. And I literally said to him, I said, Michael, if we're going to do this, you guys have to like actually be here, do it. Like, I'm not gonna you gotta be for real about it. And they're like, let's do it. And we did it. Every time they said, okay, now send in this, now submit this, now submit this, to the point where I was like, okay, all right. And I was like, guys, if we're gonna do this for real, we have to win. I asked any of them right now. I literally said to them, if we do this, I'm not interested in losing. If we do this and we invest in this, the only thing that I'm okay with is winning. We won.
Wow.
We won. It was over a course of months. We submitted and submitted and submitted to the point that they were flying us out to LA for top 5. Remember, I got the call. They're like, you made top 5. I was like, oh my God. I called them. I was like, you guys, top 5. They're like screaming. And I'm like, you know that we have to win though now. If they're bringing us to top 5 right now, I'm just letting you know right now, like, nobody else is winning except for Floss. No one else is winning. Like, I'm not going to LA to compete with these people to lose. Like, we're winning. They're like, we're going to win. We're going to win. Don't worry. We made it this far. We're going to win. We're gonna... Okay, cool. Get there now. Or no, almost getting there. And I get this call at the airport that my mentor, because each of us got a mentor, my mentor wants to just speak to me to like welcome me to LA before I get there. I'm like, okay, who's gonna be my mentor? I'm literally about to board the plane, and I had to ask the stewardess people them. I was like, can you just give me 1 second? I have to take this call. Just like 1 second. It's not even gonna take long. I was right around the corner, open up the laptop, waiting for the person to pop up on the screen. It's Khloe Kardashian. I was like, this is so crazy. I was like, this is actually so nuts. I was so shocked. I was actually so shocked. I'm still shocked. Like, I was actually so shocked because I was like, oh, you guys are not playing. You guys are not playing. It's not no, because you're thinking sometimes people just, do their little thing. Of course, being flown out to LA means that there is some type of budget going on in this. But I didn't know it was a budget.
It was a budget.
I didn't know it was budget, So I was just like, oh, that was when I realized, oh, this is like
real.
Like, not to say that it wasn't had she not been there, but like if she's coming out, they obviously paid her right. And they are obviously trying to do something on a certain type of level. And I was like, okay. So I was on the flight like, lads, you have to make sure say everything sorted, Sasha. Like, you call up the people as soon as you land, call them and tell them to pack up the things, So yeah, we competed with, 5 other amazing designers, but we made it through hundreds of designers that competed. And I was just blown away by the whole experience. It was amazing. And yeah, I think it changed me on the inside. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful that I got to experience it. And I feel like there's so much more on the way.
So could you be getting more Flowers of Couture? Is that a possibility?
Yes. Of course, I'm in this stage right now where, this is me being completely honest. I have tug and pull, tug of wars with my brands. I love Flowers of Couture so much. And it started as a project that I put together because I really wanted to say something. I really wanted people to look at plus size women differently and see them differently. And it's done that, right? It's done that over the years. And I'm just reimagining what else it can be and where it can go. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, is this the death of an era? It's because I'm also big on people who I love when people are just honest about you don't have to have this brand or business forever or ever. Amen. You can decide that it's done and move on to something else. Not saying that Flowers is done, but yeah, I'm just in this stage of trying to figure out truly how it can be the best that it can be. And that may be outside of clothes. We'll see.
Yeah. I think that's a challenge of being a multi-hyphenate. You get so much things going at different times and different levels. And you can feel like one project is coming towards completion and have one project stall here, another one that's doing well here. So you can feel being pulled in different directions.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I do feel pulled in different directions for sure. But this is also the importance of having a team. And I know it's hard because it's a team doesn't come with no cost. You still have, and that's why it's such a blessing when you have people who believe in you so much that they'll stick with you through it, regardless of if it's 1 penny here or a mill here. It's not easy to come across a set of great people who you can rock everything with, but it's so important to have a team so that you can continue to push things. Because I feel like many things that I've had died before their time because I just didn't have that support. And I had to just choose. I had to say, all right, let it go. even though I know that I know that I know inside that it could be something huge. But the reality is sometimes you need the manpower. You need people believing in it too. And now nobody's going to believe it as much as you. That's the truth. That's something I've learned. No one can ever tell me that anyone will believe in your brand as much as you. They might come really, really close, but no one's gonna, not like you, because you have it. God gave it to you, right? You see it in its fullness in all angles, right? You know where it can go because your mind is imagining it, right? But fingers crossed for us all.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for us all.
I have one selfish question for you. One, we're going to talk about YouTube off the mic.
Okay.
But on regards to a team, how do you balance letting the team give creative output and making sure they're steering the way your ship wants to be sailed?
Oh my gosh. That's a good question. So for me, I can only speak for myself. I think for me, like it's kind of hard sometimes having the conversation or like reminding people that, hey, I'm the boss. I'm me at the business, like, but at the same time, like not having ego is like one of the best things that you can do for your business. Ego has to die, even in a relationship, even in a marriage, right? It's the same thing. Like ego has to die. You have to kill that ninja. You have to kill it because it flares up and it will cause issues where there doesn't even need to be an issue. And it's not just you that has to kill the ego. You have to try and get that team to kill the ego too, because some people, it's flaring up and whatnot. But I feel like I always want to give a space for us to just be honest about where we think things can go and ideas. And I'm also just as honest by saying, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't get it. But if there's a way for you to explain this in another way so that I get it, the floor is yours. But as for right now, no. I don't like that. But I think because they know that I'm not an egotistical type person, they know that that's not coming from a malicious space.
Yes.
So I feel like if people feel comfortable with you, right? And they know that you are also there for their growth, because that's the next thing. If it's all about you and people don't feel like, oh, I can't grow here too, then they're just, at any point in time, someone can come take them away from you. Or they'll just like, or whatever, or maybe they'll hold certain ideas for themselves instead. But if they feel like, oh no, if she's growing or if he's growing, I'm growing too, and this person cares about my growth in this company or in this establishment, then I think they give a little bit more. Like, I don't know, I feel maybe we need to talk to Michael, because Michael is my team. But Michael, like, he'll be like, okay, so we need to do this, so we need to do this, we need to do this. And I don't think he ever feels like I would shut it down in any kind of way. So that's what I feel. I feel like if ego is dead between you and your team, then people are freer in giving of themselves and their ideas. And when you tell them that it's a load of shit, they won't feel so bad, because they'll be like, okay, I get it. Okay, let's try this, So that's my thought.
No, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I completely agree. Having the space of no ego, so they know that it's not self-serving, but more so the team serving, is such a big difference.
Yeah. And that's what I want. Like, I have no desire to just be like this, I know a lot of people, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with being like, people are like, I want to be the most famous girl in the world, da, da, da. Like, there's people who have those dreams, But for me, I'm such a community girl. Like, I am such a community girl. I love to see when my people are good. I love to see people coming together and making things, like, it makes me so happy to see when people, especially communities, come together and make things work however they wanted them to work or whatever. Like, that is top tier to me, right? So if we can all rise, and yes, I may be the more face-fronting person, but I'm okay with being used in that way, because that's the gift that I have, right? But I also am okay with taking a back seat. Like, people are like, why aren't you at the front of Daddy's kitchen? Why not? This could be your cooking. It's like, because it's not about me. Like, it's not about me. It's about us. It's about our community. It's about the fact that there's this man who has dedicated so many years of his life under a certain company, loses his job, and somehow family and food has brought him back to life. You know, it's about how other men see themselves in his eyes. I'm not going to go put myself in front of her when there's 50 million different versions of Sasha. I'm not saying there's anybody, for real, there's nobody like me, but you get what I mean. There's so many different girls, a little blush and a little this, let me cook this, for my man in a little pair of booty shorts, Not hating, but just saying, you know what I mean?
Shots fired.
There's a gazillion of that out here, right? But when I get messages from men saying, hey, like, I watch Daddy's Kitchen and I just connect with the man. Like, I'm so happy that there's a channel like this. Or, this man reminds me of my father who passed. And I feel like I watch your channel to like reconnect because we used to do this exact same thing. Or young guys who are like, yo, you know how many guys stop me on the road and are like, tell your dad I cook for my girl. Tell your dad I cooked for my girl.
Wow.
Tell your, like,
Wow.
do you know, that to me, and it's not to say that the girls mean anything less, because I love hearing from the women, but hearing men and Black men specifically talk about how they're in the kitchen, spending more time in the kitchen, cooking for their family, cooking for their loved one, cooking for their girl. Like, food brings people together, and to know that we're a part of the reason why so many families are eating together again and sitting down, like, that's community, and that's really what I'm here for. Yeah.
I love that point.
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Where can people find me? You can find me. I am Sasha Gay everywhere, on YouTube and on Instagram and on TikTok. And you can find me Daddy's Kitchen. And yeah, Daddy's Kitchen on YouTube.
With that being said, the hustle is what you can control. So control your grind and control your life. I'm Alex.
I'm Sasha.
That's the show, y'all. Peace.
Peace.